Gates open at Arapahoe Park as Colorado prepares to join other states to celebrate America's independence, and Arapahoe Park joins other racetracks as part of National Racing Series. But sports is also territorial, and we'll put the spotlight on a Colorado-bred champion, Colorado's most wanted thoroughbred, and the most exciting race of the season so far, where Arapahoe Park-based horses tried to defend home field advantage. We're showing you the behind the scenes of horse racing and some of sports' most majestic athletes. So get a leg up, come on to the track, and be ready for the start, because the horses are at the post. Welcome to a behind the scenes look of horse racing. I'm Jonathan Horowitz, the announcer at Arapahoe Park. This weekend, Americans will celebrate the anniversary of when colonies came together to declare their independence from the Crown of England. Horse racing displays a similar unity. Horse racing takes place in almost every state in the Union, whether it's thoroughbreds, quarter horses, Arabian steeplechasers, or harness horses. However, while horse racing is regulated on a state level, such as by the Colorado Racing Commission, the states come together for championship series. Like loyal members of the Union, Colorado plays a role in these series. This weekend, Arapahoe Park will host races for the American Quarter Horse Association Challenge Championships and the Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan Global Arabian Horse Flat Racing Festival. In addition to these, thoroughbred racing has the Win and You're In Challenge Series for the Breeders' Cup and the Road to the Kentucky Derby Series. On Saturday, July 4th, will be the Muriel Arapahoe Distaff Challenge. The winner of the race for quarter horse fillies and mares over 400 yards will earn a berth to quarter horse racing's championship evening at the Challenge Championships to be held this year at Lone Star Park in Dallas in November. There are 11 regional finals for the Muriel Distaff Challenge Championship that take place in 7 different states, as well as Mexico and Canada. Last year, Stoli Angel won the Muriel Arapahoe Distaff Challenge and then flew the flag for Colorado and took the national championship held at Prairie Meadows in Iowa. Earlier in the season, B.H. Lisa's Boy won the Adequan Arapahoe Derby Challenge for 3-year-old quarter horses over 400 yards. That race included horses who made their most recent start in 7 different states and was won by Washington-based B.H. Lisa's Boy. It was B.H. Lisa's Boy's 5th win in a row. The Challenge Championships also have a championship, juvenile, distance, and bonus challenge division. On Sunday, Arapahoe Park will host the Wathba Stud Farm Cup. The race is part of the His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan Global Arabian Horse Flat Racing Festival. The festival features Arabian races in several series that take place in 17 countries on 6 continents. In the United States, there are series races in Colorado, California, and Texas. For the first time ever, this year, there is an Arabian Triple Jewel, the breed's equivalent to thoroughbred racing's Triple Crown. Arapahoe-based Paddy's Day has a big chance in Sunday's Triple Jewel race at Pleasanton in Northern California. Paddy's Day finished second in the first leg of the Triple Jewel at Sam Houston in Texas to Burning Fleet. The Scott Powell trainee, owned by the Quarter Moon Ranch, has been in fine form this season at Arapahoe Park. Esme Cielo won the first Wathba Stud Farm Cup race held this season at Arapahoe Park in May. He also won another race in the Sheikh Mansour Festival at the Kentucky Horse Park, showcasing apprentice jockeys. There is also a series for lady jockeys. In addition to the National Racing Series, Arapahoe Park is also involved in a national competition that showcases former racehorses in new careers, such as eventing, jumping, dressage, ranch, and trail horses. In March, Arapahoe Park partnered with Retired Racehorse Project, the Colorado Horse Racing Association, and Cantor, Colorado to host the Colorado's Most Wanted Thoroughbred competition at the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo. Vinny the Emperor was Colorado's most wanted thoroughbred, and later in the episode will be a profile about him and rider Janelle Day in Beyond the Finish Line. The Colorado's Most Wanted Thoroughbred competition was a regional showcase for the National Thoroughbred Makeover that will take place at the Kentucky Horse Park in October. Arapahoe horses like Sweet Peaceful Dream will be involved. I'll be announcing the Thoroughbred Makeover. So as we celebrate the colonies coming together in unity on July 4th, we can continue to look to horse racing to bring Americans together. Gates Open at Arapahoe Park is presented by the His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan Global Arabian Horse Flat Racing Festival. On the edge of glory in the Waspa Stud Farm Cup, and Breezal LZP with Carlo Lopez looking over the shoulder for the competition that hasn't emerged yet. With races in 11 countries, the Waspa Stud Farm Cup will be held at Arapahoe Park on May 24th, July 5th, and August 9th. Behind the growth of horse racing in Colorado, the Colorado Horse Racing Association, the Colorado Thoroughbred Breeders Association, the Rocky Mountain Quarter Horse Association, Colorado Owners and Breeders of Racing Arabians, Canter, Colorado, finding new homes for retired racehorses. If instead of nationalism and globalization, your inclinations are for states' rights, this next story focuses on Colorado. Gates Open at Arapahoe Park had all access to follow Colorado-bred Mr. Wild Kitty from Kim Oliver's stable to the paddock to the racetrack for the Arapahoe Park Sprint. And then take a look at some of the top Colorado-breds who are taking on competition from out of state in this Arapahoe Park Sprint. But this year, a very good contingent of Colorado-breds, and Mr. Wild Kitty on the inside, a strong allowance for the last time out. The horse who was 58 last year. And with that victory in the allowance race last time out, really sets himself up well for a good season. Representing Lynn McGregor and Mark McGregor, stalwarts on the Colorado Thoroughbred Breeders Association. He's been winning stakes races here ever since he was starting racing here in 2010, and then 2011 he was the Colorado-bred Horse of the Year. And he is the defending champion in the Arapahoe Park Sprint, having won this race a year ago by 2 1/4 lengths. Mike Zinkler, who's ridden him to stakes success at Arapahoe Park, will be back aboard Wally Mansfield or Bill Van Landingham and trainer Tyrone Gleason. So a strong group of Colorado-breds. There are the 2 Colorado-breds taking on horses who've been bred from out of state, and number 2, Sylvanas, bred in Arizona in the success here to Arapahoe Park with Mike Imerino aboard for owner-trainer Michael Rollins. And then the other 2 horses in the field, number 4, Ali Ubu, named for top strong in the 1960s that hit the top of the billboard trying to regain the form that he had outraced in Rated Stakes Company a year. Lance Alfrey and Stuart Eskew. Solid field of 5 for the Arapahoe Park Sprint, which comes up next over 6 furlongs. Gates open, the Arapahoe Park sprint is underway. Sylvanas slower than the others to begin. Ghost Vapors came away the quickest. Alley-oop also shows speed, and there goes Mr. Wild Kitty and Wally Van to challenge as well as they sort themselves out. Sylvanas is last of all. Mr. Wild Kitty and Russell Bishwilly now charge to the front. Open up a length and a half from Wally Van to Gray running in second on the inside of Ghost Vapors. Sylvanas is second last, and Alley-oop is the trailer. A tightly run race at the end of the backstretch. The 5 runners covered by just 2 lengths. They're chasing Mr. Wild Kitty. It's hard work with the others now ranging up on the outside. Alley-oop for Brian Terrio on the yellow silks, and then Ghost Vapors and Wally Van. You could throw a blanket over the first 4, and Sylvanas looks on from last place. Past the quarter pole, about to turn for home in the Arapahoe Park sprint, and it's Mr. Wild Kitty in a dogfight with Alley-oop to the outside, and then comes Wally Van and Ghost Vapors a furlong to the finish. Anyone's racing the Arapahoe Park sprint. Ghost Vapors charging up on the outside. Wally Van trying to squeeze through. Alley-oop along the inside. Mr. Wild Kitty and Sylvanas. Here's Wally Van putting his best foot forward, and Wally Van goes on to the win, defends his title in the Arapahoe Park sprint over Ghost Vapors. Mr. Wild Kitty in a photo for 3rd place, followed by Sylvanas and then Alley-oop. The final time for 6 furlongs, 1 minute 12.75 seconds. Number 3, Wally Van does it again. The Arapahoe Park sprint winner a year ago repeats as the even money favorite.
Well, we would have liked to win, but he ran a pretty good race. It's always hard coming out of the 1 hole in the mud. You have to use your horse a little bit. Well, we would have liked to win, but he ran a pretty good race. It's always hard coming out of the 1 hole in the mud. You have to use your horse a little bit to get up in contention of the race. And then Russell rode him. Then he'll go back to the barn and cool out some more and eat his supper, and then he'll probably walk for a couple days. Depending on the track, he usually goes back to the track and jogs a couple laps and just stretches out. He was happy going to the track and seems happy now, so yeah, great.
A big thank you to Mr. Wild Kitty's trainer, Kim Oliver, and owner Lynn McGregor for allowing Gates Open at Arapahoe Park to follow the horse's journey to the racetrack. Live horse racing at Arapahoe Park takes place from May 22nd to August 16th on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays starting at 1 p.m. Gates Open, the Miles Massey Handicap is underway. Keep up with the latest online at myhighracing.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing, and on Twitter at JJ Horowitz. Miss Dixie and Little Rich Girl in a photo finish that goes to Miss Dixie, holding on by the narrowest of margins. 1 month into the 2015 season at Arapahoe Park, and the Front Range Stakes proved to be the most exciting race of the meet so far. An accomplished and intriguing field of 11 took part in the $40,000 stakes race contested over 7 furlongs. The field included former Colorado-bred Horses of the Year Wally Van and Magical Twist, a former winner of the Front Range Stakes, EF5 from 2011, a mare taking on the boys in Lady Contender, and a promising shipper from out of state, Embellishing Bob, who had won the 2014 Derby Trial at Churchill Downs in Kentucky and was sent off as the odds-on favorite in the Front Range. Put it all together, and you had a thrilling stretch drive and photo finish. Ready for a start. Gates Open, the Front Range Stakes is underway, and Wally Van was fast asleep in the stalls and lost 6 lengths coming out of the gate. It'll be hard work for him. I'm a Happy strike away the quickest from the outside with EF5 and Bourbon Sense to his inside, making a line of 3. And then 2 lengths to Alley-oop in 4th place in the gray. Outside of Mr. Wild Kitty, the favorite, Embellishing Bob, is in mid-division, about 6 lengths off the lead in the blue sleeve jacket heading down the backstretch. And then comes Ghost Vapors, Sylvanas, Magical Twist, Lady Contender, and the slow starting Wally Van is at the rear with 10 lengths to make up as they go past the half-mile pole. And it's I'm a Happy Strike and Brian Terrio who have the lead, pressured to the inside by Bourbon Sense and Mike Imarino, and EF5 and Kelly Bridges to the outside in the yellow silks. These three race a length and a half in front of Embellishing Bob. Enrique Gomez taking a brave route up the rail on the favorite. Alley Oop Oop trapped wider on the course. Magical Twist is starting to run on. Turquoise Cap for Dennis Collins. And then comes Mr. Wild Kitty, Lady Contender, Ghost Vapor, Sylvanas, and Wally Van off the turn and into the stretch in the front range stakes. And Bourbon Sense cut the corner, has the lead with Embellishing Bob into the clear, trying to run him down. And the mare taking on the boys, Lady Contender, running a strong race. Magical Twist also getting into it from the center. Here comes Magical Twist, widest of all, with Lady Contender, Embellishing Bob, and Bourbon Sense hitting the line. Lady Contender and Magical Twist in a photo finish. It might have been the mare against the boys, but it'll be a photo between Lady Contender and Magical Twist. And then came Embellishing Bob and Bourbon Sense. Here's the photo, which Lady Contender won by a nose. The runner-up in the 2014 Front Range, Lady Contender, was ridden to victory by Carla Lopez for trainer Stacy Rushton and the ownership partnership of Neugbauer and Rushton. Each week, Arapahoe Park in Cantor, Colorado, an organization that finds homes for horses after they finish their racing career, profiles a horse in a new career in a segment that we like to call Beyond the Finish Line. And today we go beyond the finish line with Janelle Day and her horse Vinny the Emperor, who's now known in the stables as Hobbs. And we're watching footage from the Colorado's Most Wanted Thoroughbred competition, a horse who finished racing in September, and then 6 months later, he's Colorado's Most Wanted Thoroughbred. First of all, what does it mean to be Colorado's Most Wanted Thoroughbred?
You know, the competition was really about what can a thoroughbred do after the track. And they were actually looking for older horses. Stuart Pittman, who runs the Retired Racehorse Project, who helped put this on with Cantor, Colorado, told me he normally wouldn't even have looked at a horse this young, but saw his video and really liked it. And the idea is to really bring public knowledge to what these horses can do and how versatile they are.
And so he's a young horse, 5 years old. How did he do what he did so quickly? How did you train him to not just run as fast as he can, but actually to do things you tell him to do? We'll talk a little bit about some of the amazing things that you've taught him to do.
Yeah. You know, really the big thing for Hobbs is one that when I go on the track and I look at a horse, we look for the brain. And Hobbs came out of his stall, and he was Vinny the Emperor then, and we went and saw him, and he has this really soft, kind eye. And we worked with Cantor New England over there, and they knew my father-in-law who went with me, and they said, "You've got to see this horse. We know this exact horse you want." And they pulled him out of the stall, and he was built gorgeous. His personality was solid. You know, we're out on the backside of the track, and he's happy to eat grass, and I dogged him for the vet, and he came right back down, and he wanted us to pet him and scratch him. And that, for me, told me that he had a good brain. And so when we're learning these new things, it's the fact that his brain is there. He's smart, smart, smart. Thoroughbreds want to please. They want to win, and they want to please their rider. And so when they're learning something new, and you give them the appreciation for when they get it right, they just keep going with it. And he's just been that kind of guy. Racing-wise, he was based in New England, Suffolk Downs, won one race in 28 starts, and now has won his first ever Most Wanted Thoroughbred competition. You've only had him for less than a year. What could he do? What's in store for him? So my hope for him is we're going to work on 3-day eventing as well as hunters and jumpers. But really the big thing is for me when I pull any horse off the track, it's what they want to do and what their passion is. And you can tell, you know, some of them really don't want to jump and they have no idea or business doing so. But here he is. There he goes. Okay. And he loves it. And so the hope is to do some eventing. We're going to be doing actually our first competition at for a 3-day eventing here coming up pretty soon. And we're gonna start at the elementary level, which is like 18 inches, you know, just little baby stuff. And then hopefully by the end of summer, we're gonna go to Colorado-Horse Park and hopefully do beginner novice and have him start his career. But and really the sky's the limit. Oh yeah, yeah. And a little bit about, where does the name Hobbs come from? So Hobbs is the cartoon character from Calvin and Hobbes, and he is Calvin's best friend, the tiger, and he's an orange tiger, and Hobbs is my orange tiger best friend, and he's just kind of, Hobbs in the cartoon is like the voice of reason, but still always ready to go out and have fun, and that's kind of how Hobbs is. You know, sometimes when I'm like, yeah, let's go do this, and you're ready, and he's like, I'm not quite ready yet. And so I listened to him, and we just become a great partnership.
So he's taken on the comic book character mentality. A beautiful racehorse and had a tremendous impact amongst the fans. Some of the tricks you did, which were very eye-catching, the bicycle.
Yeah.
How do you get a horse to ride a bicycle?
Well, so I always joke that Hobbs's like spirit name is "Does Anything for Carrot." And so basically I worked with him on groundwork where, you know, we would back up, he would get a carrot. I would turn right, I would turn left, he would get a carrot. He halts, he gets a carrot. And that's like without the lead rope. And so we did a lot of groundwork like that. And so I would just start biking by his pen and things like that. And I road bike a lot. So I'd actually bike out to the barn all the time. So he's used to me biking up to his pen. And then I would just walk with the bike in one hand and him in the other and give him a carrot, and he was like, that's cool. And then I just got on the bike and walked with him and gave him a carrot, and he said, well, that's cool. So, and that's how you do it, just step by step and making sure that you're not overloading their brain at the same time.
I'm the same way. I have a bag of carrots all set for when I finish. And we know a little bit about Hobbs. How about yourself? Do you have a racing background, an eventing background? What's your horse background?
So I started taking lessons when I was 7, and at a barn that did a lot of dressage, and then so I did some dressage and some 100 jumpers, and then got into eventing as I got older, much to my poor mom's fear, because it can be pretty scary for parents. And then I was a working student for an eventer in Virginia, where I also exercised horses on the track. That was kind of part of your, I guess, like your boot camp for being a working student. If you're a working student, you also had to go exercise some horses on the track because you had to be tough, I guess. And so really it's pretty eclectic. For me, it's all English riding and definitely doing the dressage, and then the eventing is just super.
So Most Wanted Thoroughbred brought together the racing world, Arapahoe Park. It brought together the horses after racing world with Canter and with Retired Racehorse Project. What would be the benefits of having different parts of the horse world coming together?
I think the biggest benefit for the Thoroughbred is getting the word out there, what great athletes and what great animals they are. They can truly do anything. And if you look at through the eventing world, Rolex Kentucky was a little while ago, and the Thoroughbreds were represented, off the track Thoroughbreds were represented in there throughout the whole competition, and some of them were in the top 15, which is pretty big for Rolex. And so having all these organizations come together and bring awareness, I think is just awesome, because it's really going to start showing people that you don't need to keep breeding a bunch of horses, or you don't need to have the, you know, $50,000 warm blood. You can go to the track and create a great partnership with an animal that's already athletic.
And you've done that with Hobbs. It'll be wonderful to follow him. Maybe we'll see him in the Rolex 3-day eventer program.
Right.
We'll be there to cover it.
20 years from now, let's see.
For Janelle Day, I'm Jonathan Horowitz. That's our show. And until your next time out at the races, keep picking winners.